So our title today of our talk is Today is the Best. It's the best. It's the best it's ever going to get. And my talk today is a tale about myself and how we can lose track of that. And I'm sure you never do that, but I do that from time to time. And one of the ways that it was most of the time I'm a very positive, optimistic person. As a matter of fact, I can't even write a straight line. My handwriting goes like this. So I'm usually very optimistic and positive. But when I push myself too hard in work, I can, a whole downward spiral happens. And mind you, I'm my own boss. Nobody pushes me but me. I decide my schedule. I decide what I need to get accomplished or what has to be done. But I can lose track of any limits with that and expect myself to do more. So I had a very busy week last week, largely with computer things. And I love staying up to date with computer things and computer programs. I love learning new things. But when there's a lot, I get so annoyed. Does it have to change every day? I mean, do things have to change every friggin' time that you figure them out, then suddenly they're different now? And it's done a different way. And you can't get things done in the time that you've allotted. So I spent a lot of time, and we got a lot of things done. I was able to download QuickBooks Online, which will make my QuickBooks work easier. I must admit, part of my dilemma is I'm used to having office support that does this stuff for me. And now I'm having to do it all by myself. And it's not what I signed up for. I like doing this. I like interacting with people, not computers, although I like using my mind. So I spent a lot of time at the computer. We got Bob's articles done for Science of Mind magazine for June, and I was editing and putting quotes in there. We got that done on Monday. We got QuickBooks done on Wednesday. Can't remember what Thursday was, but yesterday was working on the class flyer for the class that's coming up that I'll tell you about later, and other things. And got through the end of the day. Oh, big thing coming up is my former husband is having a big significant birthday, and my boys are trying to get a book together from Shutterfly, from friends all over the world and their comments, and I've been participating in that. And yesterday I was called upon to call some people in Germany on Skype because I'm the only one that speaks German that needs to talk to them. Could not get my Skype working because it's changed. Now it's part of Microsoft and it works differently, and you have to, it's all different. And I could not get it done. And I was at a deadline. Deadlines are always helpful for things like this because it's 6 hours later there, and I was running out of time. So just one of those, I do a downward spiral when my pusher pushes me. We have these inner sub-personalities. So I have a pusher, and when my pusher pushes me till my cortisol is coursing through my body, then my inner critic comes in. About what I haven't done well and haven't done enough of, and then it goes crazy, and it goes all the way back to the past and what I didn't do well enough then my whole life, and then it goes to the future about what probably won't work out in the future and what I need to fear about that. And then I worked myself into a total funk, and I told Bob, I have nothing to say tomorrow. I think you're going to do the talk. I can't think of a thing uplifting to say. Because I worked on everything but my talk this week. I'm so glad I'm married to a therapist. He was just really good with me. He didn't do anything that most people are like, you shouldn't feel that way, and you do it to yourself. And he didn't do any of that stuff. He just listened to me, understood. We went out for a walk. I relaxed a little. Good night's sleep, and I woke up this morning. I said, I know just what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to talk about what I did to myself yesterday to ruin a perfectly good day. Because we had already picked out the title about it, the best is today. We really only have today, but I really believe it's a matter of a concept that you've heard many times, of looking at the glass half full. And are you focusing on and paying attention to what's missing or what's accomplished? Because what I woke up this morning and did in my meditation is I reviewed what I did get accomplished last week, how much I got accomplished, which was far more than a normal week. I really got a lot done. But I was so busy focusing on the top part of that glass and what hadn't been done right or yet or on time, that I wasn't giving myself any appreciation or a love for what I had done. So I share that with you simply because I know I'm not the only one who does this. And maybe I'm the only one.
No. That's the only one who relates. I relate.
And we had started out our morning yesterday with a nice breakfast with neighbors who are going to have to go back to Canada, actually, and they're sorry they do. Wonderful neighbors. We went out for a lovely breakfast. They were saying, oh, this perfect weather. We have such perfect weather. We have to go back. He has to go back for medical appointments. But they don't want to, because it's part of the reason he has to go back for medical appointments is because he slipped on the ice up there and injured himself. But so that perfectly beautiful day, perfect weather, and I managed to ruin it for myself. But I got a lot done. So you have to worry about that sense of all that you need to do, and mostly to lose track of loving yourself, and approving of yourself. Not only, because love is an abstract word that a lot of people can't wrap their minds around for themselves. But do you approve of yourself? Do you appreciate yourself? Do you pay attention to the good you do in the world and what you've done well and what you've done right? Because that's important. It's important. Louise Hay says that loving yourself will solve all the problems in your life. Simply loving yourself. Like you love your children, who are not perfect, who annoy you and do things wrong you think they shouldn't do. You love them anyway, right? You love them anyway. Sometimes. Sometimes. Well, we need to do that for ourselves too, because when we criticize ourselves, we are trying to do what our parents and teachers did to us when they criticized us, try to make us a better person, try to make us more skilled, try to help us. But it often does not help. It often just pushes you down and helps you lose confidence and lose a positive attitude and lose the joy of today. Because you only have today. You only have today. Part of preparing for this celebration for my former husband, who I'm still friends with because we have children. He lives in Seattle, so I don't see him very often. But we're contacting friends, to make a contribution to this book. How depressing is it when you keep finding out this one's died, that one's died, and you didn't know, and it can weigh you down like stones. Another one gone, another one gone, and another one bites the dust, and yet we know that we don't believe that death is final. I know that in my heart of hearts, and yet still, when you wanted to reach someone and you didn't know that they've already gone, you really get, we only have today. We really only have today, and we're going to close our session today with a wonderful piece that we just found about Clint Eastwood, who, when this piece was done, was 88 years old and still making movies. So I don't know when this was done. It could be very recent. I don't know. But that's another thing at most of our ages, that we we're always experiencing, we're always looking at. So how do we make today the very best? None of us is perfect. We're all growing. We're all evolving. We all have our unique contributions. This man, this singer, Israel, what challenges he must have gone through, and how much self-deprecation did he do because of his size and his weight. Although maybe it wasn't as bad in Hawaii because they have a different concept. Their royalty tried to get that big because they believed that the bigger you are, the more power you have, the more prestigious you are. So they may not be as fat phobic over their culture as we are here. So I hope it was easier for him. But all of us have our limitations. We're also going to share a piece about Sammy Davis Jr. You guys remember him?
Of course.
Possibly one of the best entertainers in the whole world. And yet what he had to go through, being a black man born in 1925 in this country, it kept him constantly questioning his worth and if he was good enough and what he deserved. So those are the things that we do to ourselves through our belief systems. This teaching teaches us how to examine those belief systems to decide rationally, are they true? Do they hold water? Was it just something we decided, or someone told us, or we decided, or our parents told us, or some belief about ourselves? Because society's pretty good about saying, the problem with you is you're just too this, or not enough of that. You need more of this. And we can internalize that and then become a much tougher critic than any of them ever were for us. So, and I really don't feel like that I got a lot of criticism, so I'm not even blaming this on my teachers or my parents. Mine seems to be internally driven and caused just by expecting, my own expectations of myself. So, I just would like to urge you, we only have today. Your glass is half full or half empty. What do you want to focus on? And how much love and acceptance can you give yourself?